So finally back again after a bit of a hiatus. Now, one problem that you'll sometimes encounter, especially with certain parts, is such as this one, where this shoulder piece has to fit inside this armor piece. Now, there's two ways to possibly alleviate this. If I can get the option. The first is to basically make a small cut this part where they basically cut open the female end of the part, so that once you assemble it, you can then just slide it in there. The problem with this method is that basically you're limited in that once you do this, there's no going back. So, additionally, you are then also limited in the amount of essentially work time you have to pose the model how you want it. Now, the other option is to basically assemble it as is, but then mask off the areas that are exposed that are a different color. Now, the advantage of this method is that you can assemble it and get it all nice and all that, and still be able to pose it how you want it. The downside is masking can get to be on the tricky side. So let me go ahead and open this up a little so I can get it glued. Alright. Now I'm gluing first, as this is generally a little easier to do, and then I'm going to mask. As allow me the chance, allow me the chance to basically see what areas are not going to be exposed and which areas are going to be exposed. Alright, I'll just let this set up and cure, and then we'll be back to it in a little bit to mask off the innards. Alright, so I've already taken the liberty of sanding down where glued. Now it's time to mask. Now you want to go with any type of masking tape that's basically low tack, and ideally something that's of a size that will be good for what you're masking. Now, on this part, since it's limited in its movement, so I moved it so I can get the masking tape in fairly easily, as you can see. And just a matter of trying to get it in as far as possible, and then just using something to just get it down. Alright. And I wouldn't worry about the little knob just yet, as that will get later. Now, this part can be tricky at times, as even though it's low tack, it still wants to just stick fairly easily. Alright. Going good. Now, at this point, depending on what you're doing exactly, you can fairly easy just trim down any excess masking material that's sticking out, or just wrap it around parts that either are going to get masked or that don't really matter. In fact, I think I'm going to just go ahead and trim some of this off just to make my life a little easier. Okay. Now, when you do trim, if at all possible, try and reuse some of that excess masking material, as it'll save you money in the long run. And just find somewhere that you can just easily just sort of tack it on somewhere. And again, you want to continually use something just to make sure it's down and is grabbing hold of the part you're masking off. Still doing good for time. Alright. Oops. Now you can also use liquid masking mediums, such as Microsol and I believe Neo. It's Gunz's version of it. But personally, I have not really had much luck using this stuff, so I can't personally recommend it from past experiences. But some people will swear by it, and I even openly admit that it can be used, but I just haven't had much luck with the stuff, so that's why I don't use it. Let's see, yeah, and basically at the end of the day, you want to try and get the part as masked off as possible. I wouldn't be too concerned about the areas that aren't going to show, as those areas you can generally neglect, as they won't be being seen, so you don't need to worry as much. And I'm just about out of time. But yeah, ideally, just you want to mask and just overlap masking parts just to make sure. And when in doubt, over mask, as it's better to be overly cautious than to leave a part open that really shouldn't have and potentially wreck a detailed paint scheme. Oops. Lastly, you want to make sure that after you mask everything, you want to just do one final look over, just both to test to make sure your mask is holding, and also to make sure you did get all the little parts. Alright, and I think out of time now. Next video I'll be talking about the use of getting some of the details and some of the armor pieces out, and didn't see it there, but some of the details and such in the armor pieces out. And till then,